I think we're live. Are we live?
According to
I
this,
think
we
we're
are.
live. Okay, we're live. Welcome back to the Quantum Show, Quantum Panel, talking about the bodies, the documents, the craft. Just like me and Amy every morning. Well, Amy every morning. And in in the room is R. Keith Andrews, randomly showing up. Welcome to the show again.
Tell you, it was touch and go.
Yeah. Yeah. Always welcome, Keith.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for
that. Hey,
coming by. Hey, always. And tonight is really kind of up your alley because I'm talking about ufology and the misconceptions of science and how we don't really have a concept of everything going on yet because no physics guys want to come with me into a graveyard or a haunted asylum or a haunted prison because they can't explain it. There's no science for them there. You know what I mean?
that's the sad part. Is there really is.
Hmm. I
You just
agree.
have to look.
There's
You just have to look a
Yep,
little beyond accepted.
right, because I will go forever talking about what happened in the cemetery to me that night, a couple few years ago on Halloween. It happened.
Right.
No one can tell me it didn't happen because it did.
They can so
I
tell you it didn't happen.
Oh, they can tell me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't matter. And yeah, I went over a few years ago. The CIA released a bunch of documents on a burnable CD format file. So you can look at them directly. You had to mount the drive and you had to mount it as, oh, we got somebody coming in.
Sounds like you're
Hey,
working in
Joe.
Linux.
Joe, how we doing?
All right. Sounds like you're working in Linux there.
Working in Linux? What do you mean?
Mounting the drive.
Yeah, well, Windows brought it over to them too, because I was
Oh,
just mentioning that the CIA released a bunch of UFO reports a few years ago from a long time, like 60 years worth of reports. And they released it as a burnable CD-ROM image. And they OCR'd a bunch of handwritten and typed documents from a long time ago. And there's no way to look at them without mounting the drive and printing it off or making a disk and reading them that way. And by the way, the OCR images were horrible. You can't make it, OCR. Uh, it retypes what it finds, and it did a horrible job. It was like second gen OCR seemed like. So it's easier to read the typed stuff that's all blurry. Actually easier to read it. You get more from it.
Well, you weren't
Eh,
expecting it coming clear from the government, were you?
No, nothing. And they did it sideways too, giving people a burnable disk image. What? That's like handing somebody I mean, nowadays, that's like handing somebody a wax cylinder. Says, "Here you go. Here's all the information you want on a wax cylinder." What am I supposed to do with this? Or on like on a wax cylinder. That's a really good idea. That's a really good example. We know how they're supposed to be read, but we don't have any way to read them easily. You can't just go,
Well, why give you something that you can read easily?
yeah. They did it on purpose, and it just seems like more obfuscation for the facts out there. But I talked about that. I talked about, talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
well, the
Um,
Defense Department launched its own website for declassified information on UFOs too.
did they? What is that website? Just,
Let me point you to where I got the information from. I got it from MSN.
okay, well, it's a starting point.
Yeah, it's
So
funny.
Forwarding
I'm
to the
You
private chat.
okay. Private chat. Go ahead, Keith.
it's funny when I talk about things, I keep getting asked, "Well, where's your proof?" And I'm like, "Well, give it 30 years and you'll get it." Which makes it a little hard for me to chalk it
Yeah.
up to being paranoid.
You got two of them guys?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Now, y'all keep talking. I'm guessing my sound is okay, right? Because y'all sound is
Your
Yes,
perfect.
sound
your
is
sound
fine
is
today,
fine.
Nathan.
I think
It's
Keith
just I
is
was
just a
watching your hand signals
tad
and
weak.
that hold up.
Oh,
Are we waiting for somebody coming in that's trying to come in?
No, I'm waiting for you to tell me how many noids it was you had. Did you say a paranoids?
No, I didn't. No, what I said was I find it hard to call it being paranoid when I see something coming in 30 years before it
paranoid.
gets here. And besides that, noids only come in triplets.
Oh, okay.
You can't get a pair because if one dies, the other two keel over
I
because you
will be
can't
adding
support it.
this.
You'll be what?
I'm going to be adding that link to the show. I'm going to be adding a link to the show. What is this?
Let me see here.
DD.
There we are. I don't want that. That's going to screw me up. There.
Okay. All right then. Can't believe I'm already out of coffee. 7 minutes. That's okay. Yeah, you know what? Huh?
Well, that's actually not that far off.
7
I'm just
minutes?
looking in the chat room here. No. I'm looking in the chat room here, and Sapphire says, what's the difference between conspiracy and truth? In 2023, that's about 6 months. Sapphire says,
True.
Oh my
Raven,
goodness.
how are
Hello,
we?
Raven.
Hey,
Hi.
Raven.
How you doing?
Ah, there's a monster hand.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that tripod not working right?
I couldn't sit. I got to sit on top of the laptop so I can see the chat room without having to
Oh,
turn my head and look over this way. It's right over here, but yeah. Okay.
right. Okay. Well, I saw a couple of y'all. I saw you and Joe, Raven and Joe. I saw you guys at part of the first hour. So, any thoughts?
Oh, which part? Which topic?
You
You
pick
assume,
one.
I think.
Yeah, pick one. Pick one of them.
Um, well, to add to your point that you were just talking about, the CIA document dumps. This whole issue of disclosure is really, it's on my last nerve. And the way that they treat the American public is being so stupid, and then they build all this stuff up, and then, like you were saying, they disclose documents that are difficult to read or almost impossible for the average person to read if you don't know how to load this program, whatever. And it's like, what is the big deal? They've been preparing us for years. I mean, look at all the movies, commercials, all the things out there with ETs, you know and to say that the public can't handle it, some people are going to freak out, our whole society will crumble, and all this kind of BS. And everybody knows it boils down to money, and it boils down to, like, people like considering the oil industry losing their foot, because when the whole ET thing comes out, technology is going to take a real boost, and they're going to be insignificant, and they don't want to lose their power, they don't want to lose their control. So it just aggravates me how they just drip, drip, drip this whole thing along, you know. And of course, they want to play that ace card of the whole fake alien invasion if they can't render us and bring us to toe any other way. That's kind of how I feel about it. What do you think, Joe?
That's been the plan all along. They haven't been very secretive about it.
Not lately.
No, oh, not within the last 20 years. I haven't.
Right. I consider that lately. Recent is 10 years ago. Just now is 2 years ago.
You
Just
and I have
happened is
very different time frames.
yeah, we do. I have a very different time frame
Yeah,
because
when you live 71 years, yesterday was 20 years ago.
I hear you. Like I'm fixing up a whole 1991 car. It's been 30 years. What? It doesn't sound old to me at all. It sounds like it just happened. 1991 sounds like it's kind of old, but not very old. 30 years. Oh, so yeah, time
Isn't
is
that nice to know, people? According to
Time
Nathan,
is
if you're
relative.
30 years old, you're kind of old.
no.
Sad part is I've had more heart attacks than Joe's had birthdays.
Oh no.
Damn. Well, glad you're both here. Everybody
Yeah.
survived both the heart attacks and the birthdays. But
You know,
yeah,
I'm a firm believer that you only have one birthday anyway.
Actually,
Good
you're right,
point.
Steve. Yes. Good point.
But yeah, talk about ufology. I brought up my scenario, my comparison of the Little Mermaid. Did y'all hear that part?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't in the room at all.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, here's the deal with the Little Mermaid. Now are we familiar with the Little Mermaid? Everybody here
Oh,
know
yeah.
about? Okay,
No, of course not.
and oh, we got somebody else coming in. Shadow's coming in. If he's not right, okay, here we go. Mic check everything. Hey, Shadow.
Happening, folks. Hey, what's happening,
Hey,
folks?
Shadow.
What's up, guys? Long time no see.
Stars, moon,
The sky,
sun's
the
somewhere
moon.
up there. It's a little dark to
Yeah,
see
the
it.
sun's out there.
Yeah. I was just going over. How was your show, Shadow?
It was actually pretty good. My son joined me for the first time in a while on the Saturday show, and it was a good show. We talked about eldritch horror and sci-fi RPGs, weird stuff. For those of you
Sorry to see you
HP
leave,
Lovecraft fans out
Sapphire
there,
Elf.
trying to talk about how we could get it into sci-fi games instead of just games like Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, Justin's already here before me. Imagine that.
Justin. Oh, Justin, there you are. Okay. Everybody, welcome to the Quantum Panel Show. We're talking about the stuff that's going on today that has no explanation and trying out quite a few new things. I've got a new rig for the whole deal. Let me know if it's okay because I've got experimental lighting going on. And the sound, I had to get a new headset. The other one just didn't cut it no more. Hope sound checks out. So, but yeah, I was just about to go over my thoughts on the comparison of the Little Mermaid to ufology. Little Mermaid, right, Shadow?
We were just talking about it on my show, believe it or not.
Okay, well, I just mean the concept of someone who collects things that are unique. Like she has a bottle and a fork, right? It's in the movie. She plays with her fork. She looks at her bottle. You can see them in the background. She lives in water. How do you make a bottle? What does it take to make glass? Right?
Sand and heat.
How
Well, you can do it, but it's gonna be a pain.
Right? It could be. It could be done. But if you're a water creature and you have to use heat, you're in a giant heat sink. It's gonna boil you.
All you have to do is find an underwater volcano. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what I was
all.
looking at. That's the first place I went, Joe. If you just look for a volcanic vent, you're fine.
Yeah, just swim up to it. Get cooked on the way.
The idea
then
would be
metal.
to swim down to it. You hit it
Okay.
at the side angle like you're clam digging.
Mm-hmm. If you're a fish, it's not really that easy to make it happen. She's fish person. She has a really hard. right, and it's an exotic thing. It is an
She's
exotic
not
thing because it
exactly what
comes
we would call a fish, but that's
well,
okay.
right. She lives in the
Lila's
same
still
as a
going to
fish
cook her.
person. Uh-huh. And then you go and you got a fork. You need similar things for a fork, but you also have to get rocks with iron ore in them, smelt the iron, forge the fork or cast it, and then but it takes heat. Heat takes air. Heat takes fire, right? So you have to make
You,
fire. So those are exotic materials down in the ocean. Okay?
which is why they go into the
Well,
salvage
we're
thing
sorry
on
to
the
see
ships that
him
come
leave,
down.
but if he left, that's fine.
Okay, what?
I
Well, we're
said,
Joe,
which
what?
is
sorry to
why you
see.
go after salvage.
Yeah. Joe, go ahead.
We're sorry to see Sapphire Elf leave, but he had to leave for some reason.
Okay, well. Uh, I'll see him later. Have a good one, Elf. Okay, Keith, you were saying that's why you salvage?
Where all these neat little trinkets she keeps collecting come from clearly have to come off the boats that have gone down. Or just stuff that was
Right,
thrown
or
overboard en route.
right, it came from a totally different environment. So they're
Yeah,
talking about the craft. This is about the craft, right?
right.
If we find a craft, it's going to appear to be totally exotic because we can't reproduce them in this environment. Now, David Adair has commissioned things to be made on the space station and has had experiments conducted on the space stations where molten metal gets created up there. And he said this story is a piece of it came apart from the main thing. And it's like, well, keep an eye on it. Don't let it do anything. And so somebody turned on some music and it started changing. Well, that was manipulation of sound in a weightless environment
Oh,
in air, right?
cool,
And
cool.
that was all of a sudden it was an exotic material because it had been affected by something that it had not been affected by before in a weightless, not air, right? Air is present up there too, but a weightless environment where it didn't have any gravity. There was no real gravity to speak of, pulling him to
Well,
the
not
earth,
trackable
pulling the
materials,
metal.
that's for certain.
Say
And
again,
yet
Keith?
sound and frequency affected it. That is
Yep.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We said the gravity isn't trackable by humans at this point, or more to the point, by Terrans at this point.
Hmm. And it's something that we deal with. We're actually adapted for it. Our legs, our pulmonary system, our circulatory systems, the bottoms, our feet, our hands. I mean, why doesn't the blood rush to our feet every time we stand up when we're in good health, right? When we're in good health, we're hydrated and everything's working right. We have regulatory systems that keep blood flowing where it needs to go. And jellyfish don't really have that. Whales, whales and porpoise, they don't have that because if they get put on land, they get stuck on land. They're used to being in a more buoyant, floaty atmosphere,
Hmm.
and they have a hard time. They have trouble breathing. They have trouble things circulating. They get what we is the equivalent of bed sores, right? Relatively rapidly. We get bed sores in a matter of weeks. They get bed sores like in a day. If they get pushed onto shore, they get a bed sore in a day against the beach. And
Yes.
it's a different environment, and their bodies are adapted to that. So the technology that we're finding comes from a different environment. We don't know what that environment is yet. So we have to say, we can't reproduce it. Once it's broken forever. We can't repair it because we don't have the same environment. We don't have the same methods. And
I disagree.
there's, go ahead, Joe. Why?
Take a look at electronics. Up into the near the 50s, the closest thing we had to an IC chip was a couple capacitors and a couple resistors covered in plaster Paris.
Okay.
We just lost him.
4 or 5 transistors
Yeah, he just
into one
it's a connection issue.
little container.
Got to be a connection issue.
And we weren't going down
Hold on,
transistors. We were going vacuum tubes.
Pause. You cut out for a minute there. I heard plaster Paris,
Okay.
and then you cut out.
Vacuum tubes. Okay, yeah, rewind for us because you cut out there.
Okay. We weren't going towards solid state. We weren't even looking at solid state other than as a rectifier, and we had one little rectifier, and if it ever smoked, it would almost kill everybody in the room. So you can look them up, selenium rectifiers. Anyway,
Yeah.
we weren't even looking that direction, and then all of a sudden we come up with transistors. Yeah, we hadn't learned how to make it as small as they made it, but we copied as well as we could, as well as our little monkey brains could come up with. Did I cut out again?
From my standpoint, no. The funny part about it is the technology mankind is learning remembering how to deal with is coming along. But you are absolutely right. They're not producing it at a small enough level with enough power to run it properly yet.
Well, that's just it. As we're getting smaller and smaller, it's taking less and less power.
Yeah, but as it said on Star Trek,
have we
the
lost
more
Nathan?
intricate it gets, the easier
No,
it
I'm
is
here.
to mess up.
So I have a question. Is in any of the technology that we've recovered from any of these craft, do any of the ETs use quartz crystal in their technology?
It's all crystal. It's all crystal.
All of ours is too. It's just that we
now
don't
all
use
of
it
ours is
exclusively.
too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Crystal, the crystal configuration is a much more reliable and stable storage unit.
Okay. Well, then that would indicate, unless they're mining it somewhere, that some of these other inhabited planets must be similar to Earth in order for the planet to naturally produce quartz. Right? You have
quartz
to have
is
oxygen, hydrogen,
silicon
silica.
grown under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's glass, in other words, but it's grown under pressure.
The silicon dioxide, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing about any of the elements we've got on our periodic table. Okay, you give the right technology level, you can create any one of the ones on the periodic table.
Okay.
Not on Earth, but I have seen a periodic table with 250 elements on it.
Wow.
Right.
It's
So
like
we're
he's
only
telling Nathan,
barely touching it.
Mercury's a good route to go because it's roughly equivalent to what they are using, but they've got something that's heavier and more conductive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that element? What do they call it? Bob Lazar talked about it. Element
115.
115. Yeah.
Element 115. From what I understand, element 115 cannot exist under normal circumstances. Like, I can't just
like
have a bowl of element 115 in front of me and it stay 115. It decays and it changes. It has to have certain conditions to be able to stay what it is. I don't know those conditions.
Okay.
But
has anyone seen Bob Lazar's recent video?
Negative.
Not yet.
He's got a new video out. It's on my feed. I haven't checked it out, but he put something new out, sort of in response to what's been going on with, the stuff we've seen on the news last month and previously.
The man has suffered tremendously for opening his mouth.
Yeah, he has. He's a hero.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a hero, but I would say he's definitely not lying. He's telling truth as he knows it. Nobody has all of the truth,
It
but
takes a lot
he's
of
telling.
courage
Hmm?
to do what he did. It just takes a lot of courage to do what he did, and that's why I say
I was thinking brass, but yeah,
Yeah, but courage is a much more polite way to put it.
Right.
he
Not
was
just
pretty young. Don't forget, folks, he was younger than all of us here at the time, and I could see the impetuousness of youth being a bigger
He
part
went
of
into
the
job at
equation.
19.
Yeah,
What did you
no
say?
doubt he was a genius or is a genius, just not very wise.
quite often, genius and wisdom don't go hand in
Hmm.
hand.
Tell me about it.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah, I've got neither, so yeah.
What is he? What what is Bob Lazar supposed to do? No one's going to believe half of what he says anyway.
Just
And
the
the other
original
half,
whistleblower.
we're always putting it under a microscope. Yeah.
Well,
Who?
my opinion
Okay.
is that my opinion is he's saying what he's saying because for him it sets his mind at ease that he did what he could.
Yeah. I can see that because when you hold back, your conscience will bother you. It will. It hurts to
yeah.
hold, like to tell a lie and stay alive. It hurts and it bothers you, and it creates things like psychosis and things that eat at you so long that
Oh, it's not that bad. My
I'm
shrink,
glad he
I've
got it
had
off his
three,
chest, and I want him to sell all the T-shirts.
you know, I've had three shrinks tell me I'm perfectly fine, which gives you an
Well,
idea of their educational level.
Not touching that one. Not with a 10-foot
now
battle
that brings
axe.
me to the scientific method. Yeah, because it doesn't exist in their books.
So figure.
Your experiences are all made up. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
that's why I always look at the bumblebee.
got more people coming in the chat. Welcome, Zach and Edgar. Who else?
So
Yeah,
Edgar.
Zach believes in
Go ahead.
1/16 of what Bob has said. So
Sorry, Keith. Go ahead.
Oh, I said the whole approach to science
Yeah.
and the
Zach says I'm gonna post
ufology
that.
is the same idea as scientists' approach to the bumblebee, right? Where, according to science, the bumblebee cannot fly. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
nobody bothered telling the bumblebee.
Right.
I don't dare tell them because they're too
I got
friendly
lag,
for
guys.
me.
Sorry. Okay. Talk about the bumblebee. It cannot fly according to accepted science, right?
Yes. Only the
And yet
bumblebee
it
never got the
does.
message.
Nor the
Right.
helicopter.
I have gone. Right. I've gotten. Oh man, helicopter flies on a theory and a prayer,
And trust.
and yet it
Especially
happens.
in the Canadian military.
Oh, and once I get this thing built, Keith, you told me make sure I have my passport ready. Uh, unless the Mounties are flying, they will not catch me to check my passport. So
You do
I'll
realize
see you when I
Sam's
see you.
will hit that thing.
Oh yeah, but I will have my. Hopefully, they're listening to the CB radio because that's what I'm going to be having. And I'll say, "Hey, don't shoot."
TCG. I like to think they do. Unfortunately, I think we might be it.
Yes, I think they do, and I think they create insects, all kinds of different kinds of insects. Every year I find new weird bugs.
Oh, Keith, this one might be perfect for you to answer.
Yeah.
Legitimate question. Do you think aliens have hobbies such as painting miniatures, working with leather, turning garbage into useful things, that kind of stuff?
The short answer is yes.
Hmm.
And the number of different hobbies, especially given the number of people we're dealing with, could range as high as the human population.
Yeah, I think I alluded to that earlier.
You know, I mean, we got to realize off-worlders, ancient races, and Terrans all have the same outlook, the same drives. They just have different toys.
I am not a toy.
Hmm.
Are we an ant
Depends on
farm?
which race we're talking about.
Are we like an ant farm, Keith?
Only in as much we are not built. The human race was not built as an ant farm, but some races do look at it as such. The real draw of them, though, and it has a lot to do with the stuff that Nathan is working on, is the xeno-socioeconomic evolution of civilization at this point is drawing everybody's attention. Because when you couple mankind's curiosity, Nathan, I'm going to point the finger at you on that one, and their predilection to push buttons just to see what they can make happen, makes the human race absolutely deadly in the overall scheme of things.
Uh-huh.
I'm not furniture.
Well, that too.
If I am, I'm a beanbag.
Well, there are some humans that will make a beanbag out of skulls.
No, it's a reference to the movie Soylent Green.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, that's been, what, 50 years since I saw that show?
About 40, but yeah.
Well, I see the big happy button. I just don't know where I'm supposed to push it. You know.
That's a Doctor Who reference. Big happy button.
See, I never watched Doctor Who.
Oh, it gets.
I find that impossible to believe, Keith. You've never watched Doctor Who.
That's no problem. I got no problem with you having and finding it impossible to believe. Okay. You know, well, correction. If you consider seeing one show as watching Doctor Who, okay, then you would be right. My brother was a very much a Doctor Who fanatic. Of course, he quit watching it all in all about 4 years ago now. No, 2 years ago now. He quit watching it all together.
Yeah. When David Tennant left, the show kind of lost all luster for me too.
No, it's when my brother actually stepped over to the other side of life.
I figured, but I kind of want to think that, you know, if he was a true fan, he'd still be watching somehow.
Oh no, he's creating it at this point, knowing him.
I wonder how much influence the other side has on the BBC and things like Doctor Who, because it has a huge influence on things like Star Trek. Huge.
In all fairness, it's more the off-worlders and the ancient races that have that kind of impact than the dead.
Yeah,
Although they did a phenomenal job when they came out with Poltergeist and Exorcist. The original Exorcist and Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. And I've heard so many people say so much about those movies. Where were we? We were talking about
crystals.
Yeah, crystals. Thank you. Yeah, the
Ain't
crystals. That's on my list of things to talk with you about, Keith, is talking about how to get some kind of crystal computer made, even though I kind of sort of have a couple of terminals made up here already. They're just crystals with meditation, and They seem to work. I'm still getting pings from crystal people, right? And
you realize crystal people, when you're talking crystal people, we are talking true Vulcans.
No, I'm not talking
And
about those
I
guys. I'm talking
don't
about
mean the
humans.
green-blooded people.
Right? I'm talking about humans who have crystals.
Oh,
And
okay.
now, like
I was taking it way too literally, apparently.
it's okay. I know who I'm talking to. My bad. And like me and Raven have had events happen with crystals, right? I know I have, and uh, I, I've been wearing my sapphire, right, for ever since I got it from Shingoji, and it has been. I don't know if I still need it or not because sometimes I'll forget it very infrequently, and stuff still happens. People look at me like I went to the store today to do weekly shopping, and someone I've never seen before just starts watching me from across the store. Just starts watching me, and I'm like, "I got you, buddy."
Well,
She just started,
the short answer is if you've attuned to the crystal, you don't require it on you anymore.
I probably don't, but I keep it there so other people can realize that it's not a fluke; it's intentional. People who have that sense. Oh, that made no sense, did it? Okay, let me
Sure it
rephrase
did.
that. Oh, okay. Well, it made sense to you. Um, okay, people who ping other people and they come across someone who actually picks it up and reciprocates it, that can be scary to someone who's not used to that all the time. And a
Absolutely,
crystal,
it can be.
yeah, a crystal kind of is acting like a regulator so they can be not so shocked when it happens and it feels more familiar than an alien presence such as a separate mind to themselves because that was my first experience that I can recall and I was like whoa what just happened and there was no crystal involved. I was in a I forget where I was on pass in New Jersey and me and my buddies had just finished eating so I was really relaxed and we went into this store and this woman was on the phone and I got this wave of an emotion that was not mine of annoyance because we were interrupting that phone call. I just got a wave of that woman, her annoyance, and I was like, "Oh!" It shocked me, and I was like, I just took it out of my uh, mindset. I was taken out of that frame of mind, and it stopped. And that was shocking. It was shocking when that happened to me, right? But I have learned to not be shocked. And the crystal kind of acts like a regulator. So the shock of people who welcome back, Joe. The
Welcome
shock
back.
is not so strong. It's more like a introductory signal, a precursor or a preamble, kind of, sort of. Okay, yeah. If that makes any sense to anybody, there it
Yeah.
is. You heard it here first on the Quantum Show.
I
I've
hate
had
to pop your bubble.
gone about 12. I don't think I've taken it off other than to clean it and sit it outside overnight. Probably 12 years.
See, I found that wearing one crystal I've got that I really like just wouldn't work very well.
Why is that?
This one.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah, it's a little big.
Little
This one is what I
ostentatious
went
for you.
Well, I took that one with me through the airport and it fried their entire security system.
I'm surprised you haven't just put it, fixed it to the top of a staff.
Well, I tried that, but unfortunately my woodworker ran into a problem.
Okay, what problem did he run into?
The place he was doing all the woodwork shut him down.
Oh,
But you're talking about something like that.
Yep, you betcha.
But now I have to find a woodworker that can pick up where my guy left off, and that's going to be a problem. I've got
I'd
all the
go,
parts.
I'd go all Flava Flav and just wear it right here, man. Just
Yeah, but unfortunately, you end up with something like that. It's a little bit of a problem.
Can you send me some dimensions?
I don't even know how to get the dimensions.
You got a caliper? Because all I need is that bottom dimension where it connects to the wood.
The answer would be, oh, here's the silly part, Joe. I've got all the parts. I have no idea how to connect them. Give me 10 seconds, I'll show you what I mean.
Joe, I bet we could help him assemble this thing.
are we sure we want him to have that much power?
Well, sure, why not? Let me see if I
Just
can.
hope he remembers who his friends are.
This is not the brown dog, okay?
I figured.
Let me see.
He's a
Trying to
cute
figure out
pie,
how
though.
to-
What?
You, Keith.
They're so cute. 1 second. 2 seconds.
Not me.
3 seconds.
I'm pushing buttons and I don't know what these all do. Trying to put you on the big screen. Keith.
That's the bottom of the staff.
Okay.
It's actually a 6-foot staff. I got the rest of the parts here. The unfortunate part is I got no idea how to put it together.
I'm trying to figure out how to. Oh wait.
Is that sleeved?
Okay. This has a copper sleeve on it because it was supposed to be.
Okay, but see that other end where the screw is at?
This end. That's
Yes.
an inset screw at the end.
That screws into the other one.
Yes. Oh, I can do that part. A little more complicated than that, but we can get really sidetracked on that.
Assembling a magic staff on the Quantum Show? Let's do it.
A lot of 7 parts, anyone?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
And if you have some tight bond 3, we can make it permanent.
The answer is no. Understand, my ability with with even artistic technology is, to say the least, limited. And
I'm
that's being
gonna
really polite about it.
I happen to
I'm
be
gonna give you some
craft.
painting lessons real soon. That'll be a start. Actually, Raven too, but she's gonna have to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday.
But no, I had a staff design on paper, and then this guy found the wood. Right?
It was pretty nice looking. It was pretty sweet.
It is roughly 6 feet tall when it gets finished. With the dragon claw.
So 2
on top.
Justins.
Try that again?
So 2 Justins.
Essentially, yes. Well, yeah, I get a kick out of that. I'm just looking at the chat room here. Edgar's gone. Aliens took Jimmy Buffett. That's okay. They took Elvis and the dinosaurs too.
So I want Elvis back. They can keep the dinosaurs.
Well, we've still got a bunch of dinosaurs here anyway.
I'm not
You're talking
touching
about
that
yourself
one. I am
again?
not touching that one.
Quite honestly, I've considered myself a dinosaur for a very long time.
Okay, well, that's right. What you doing?
Someone just wanted to join the show. Welcome to the show, Frank.
Good
Can you
evening,
say
everyone, or good morning,
Holy-
depending on where you are.
Holy smokes. You got your DJ voice on and everything. Wow.
All right, we got the DJ voice on.
A little bit louder than everybody else on the planet.
Serving KPAS, El Paso, Fabens. 101.3. Oh,
You, you can go a little bit higher if you want, but yeah, that was awesome, dude. How's everything going with you, man?
We're doing pretty good. We're tired, had a lot of stuff going on. I just want to drop in real quick. And I was thinking, because Keith mentioning about having to assemble that staff.
Yeah.
Well, one of these decades, when you make a trip down to the United States, you might just have that tag along with you. And I know some very qualified people in my neighborhood that can work on that for you.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Does he live
I'm
about 30
on
miles
I
away?
find out sometime this week if I can make the trip at all right now, because I might be going into a government sanctioned program to actually build the publishing company I've been talking about. And if that happens, then it's going to be a few months.
Yeah, but when you do, I've got some qualifications on that. Joe lives about half an hour away, so we can make that work for you.
I can just bring my lathe with me. It's
You
small
just
enough.
load it into the trunk. That shouldn't be much of a problem.
No, the problem is getting it through and back through customs without them actually breaking the thing.
Well, it's a concept though. If you get it down here, we can help you assemble it.
Well, that is, because I'd love to have it put together. But it really boils down to trying to get it to happen properly. And getting it moved there is going to be a royal pain.
I was away.
But it'll be easier moving it down there than moving it back. I'm just looking at some of what you've been working on. The one thing that we got to look at especially with the different technology you've been playing with there, Nathan, is you got to remember to get to modify some of that stuff. You've got to be looking at both the sonic and optical input at the same time.
Welcome to the show,
I've thought
Cal.
about that.
Really good to see you, man.
I've thought about that, and I need to progress. I just got some parts in the other day. I need to progress to that point to where I will be able to apply sonic and video and visual adjustments. I'm not there yet, and I'm still at the initial put together part, and that's fine. I don't like feeling like I'm dragging my feet, but here we are.
No, you got to develop the technology first.
I've got to. It's baby steps. Go ahead, Joe.
On your Android, I'm only using one input and one output. Not Android, your Arduino.
Okay.
Good news. Speaking of which, I'm actually using my laptop, folks.
Oh,
check that out!
Yay! We stepped
up, right?
Yeah, good.
It's a miracle.
What we're talking about is that you have a pulse width modulator built in on the Arduino.
Okay.
We can
I
adjust
would need
its
your help.
frequency.
Right, I would need your help in adjusting that frequency because I am horrible at coding. I will put it in the wrong spot. I will end up.
I'll make it where you have a variable resistor, like an old-fashioned radio.
Okay.
Instead of a variable capacitor, you have a variable resistor, but still, you'll be able to sweep the frequencies. Or if you want, I can make a sweep generator out of it.
Okay. Well, let me figure out what frequency.
There, Nathan.
Well, see, with the sweep generator, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It'd find that frequency somewhere.
Yeah. And then it would go into tuning and you it's like turning the knob, right? Until it sounds right, and you narrow it down until it sounds right, or until it acts right. Yeah, there's a lot of. I would love for you to build the same rig that I have here, and tell me what else could be done hands on, not what factories do, not what other people have done. Because let me tell you, nobody's built a Vimana in like 4,000 years. So this is kind of more or less
Yeah,
new
but the Air
ground.
Force has tried. Okay.
They're tried, but they're doing
What about
what
Victor
scientists,
Schauberg? Didn't
huh?
he kind of try? Didn't Victor Schauberg kind of try? Schauberger?
I don't know. I don't know what he tried.
Well, maybe I'm a little dense here, but you'll notice you're talking about people that tried, indicating they never made headway on it.
No,
Right.
they made headway on it. They just didn't make enough.
We lost Frank.
They got thrust, just not enough. It couldn't lift its own body.
They just needed to let it know that it was like the bumblebee. That would have solved the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see using sonics resonance to make that happen because that's what they do.
Cross current on sonics and biomagnetics.
So Nathan, what is the loose rebel cow?
There's been several of those.
Okay, yes, the
I wrote that
loose
down.
rebel cow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I forgot. All right. I went to Gatlinburg, Knoxville, and all those places, East Tennessee, and Shingoji has a local legend there that's going on, and everybody just accepts it as fact. Okay. What is going on is you can hear things being broken in the nighttime at about from 12 to whenever, right? You can hear branches being broken. You can hear a cow mooing from 12 on to daytime. All right. I said, hold on a second. It's a loose cow. I have a question. I have several questions. Where is he loose from? Right? Where's the farmer looking for his cow? What kind of cow roams around at night when he's got a perfectly good barn or barnyard to chill out in with food and security?
Or pasture.
And why has no one actually seen this cow? And I'll straight up, he's in Bigfoot country, okay? He's out, I forget the name of the town, but it's out by 20 minutes away from Gatlinburg. That's all Bigfoot
All the more
country.
reason for that cow wanting to be safe in its barn.
Right. It's no cow. It's a local legend that is used to explain away the unexplainable. Sorry, go ahead.
Up in Montana, they've got a cow that's taken over a herd of bison.
Have
It's
people
the leader
seen
of the
this cow?
bison.
Okay, have
Wow.
people
Have I seen
seen
it?
the cow?
Yeah, they've seen
Okay.
the cow. It's
That
taken
cow
over the herd of
exists.
bison.
Does the cow this cow, I didn't say it that cows don't do crazy stuff. Okay, but this is not what's going on in East Tennessee, right? The loose rebel cow. What is going on with this thing? Okay.
I don't
The
know.
loose rebel cow. Here, he has found the best Bigfoot print I have ever seen in snow. It was a lone print in snow, and it had to be a size 14 shoe.
Small
But no
guy.
shoe. It was a footprint, right? In snow. Okay, let's say a human made this. Where's the human? Why is he running around barefoot in East Tennessee mountains, walking in
With
snow,
only 1 foot.
right?
Yeah. Right.
With using
one
a
foot,
1
yeah.
foot because there's no
Absolutely
follow-up
nothing
track.
better to do.
There's no lead-away track, and it's like the ground is covered in snow. Where's the one that let? Because we all know how footprints work, one after the other, right? Normally,
Oh yeah, but you forget the other thing. That's the one that got away.
the foot.
I guess so.
Like, yeah.
Lost a foot.
So the local legend
Hello.
is there's a loose cow, and he doesn't live in farmland. It's mountainous foothills, right? there's no farmland around that has cows. That's my area. I got cows right over here. There's cows right over here. That's
well,
what got me
up at
thinking about it
Tiburon,
earlier.
they have cows.
Well,
So
do they have?
They love mountains.
Okay. Well, this
They
is
don't have big
urban
barns for
area.
them
This
either.
is developed for houses. They don't have a 300, 400, 600 pound cow walking around, breaking branches, putting human footprints in snow. And people hear it, but no one has ever seen it. He's been up there for years now. No one's ever seen this cow. So
They just
go
hear
ahead.
it.
This footprint you're talking about, does
Yeah.
it look human or is it abnormally shaped? Because
Let
clearly
me
it's
see if I
not
can
a cow
bring it
hoof.
up. It is not. It looks human. It looks human, but there are some noted differences. Let me see if I can bring this thing up.
Minotaur.
Now,
See, I wasn't
Minotaur
even
would've been a
prepared
hoof.
to show pictures.
You're welcome.
It would have been a hoof.
Didn't you know you're supposed to be prepared for the whole 9 yards?
I know. I know. I didn't even think about this. This is a picture he sent me. Oh my God, it's so buried.
Hey, Derek, welcome to the show.
Okay, let me see if I can do this another way. I'm going to try to. Okay. Nope. Hey, Derek, I'm going to try to do this another way.
You're going to hold up your camera with a picture of it.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. And it's actually more accessible. He's been sending me other stuff too. There is, luckily it's right here. Okay, now he wears a 10.5, right? Let me see if I can brighten the screen up maximum so you can. His shoe is next to this footprint, right?
Oh wow.
Can everybody
Okay,
see that?
you're looking at Aurora.
Say that again.
I said you're looking at Aurora, or more to the point, Wara. Very
is that?
similar to a Bigfoot.
What is that?
But whole lot more volatile.
All right. Well, this one appears to be mimicking a cow at night, and does things like. Now there are other footprints, but they're not so obvious. What
Yeah.
is the? How do you spell that?
Oarra.
And he is he local? Apparently this one's local, but is he like
Well,
what you
apparently
call
that
an
one
ancient
is,
race?
but no,
Is
they
he
are
Terran?
off-worlders. But if he's running on his own, number one, he will certainly emulate something else that he's run into. The breaking branches and not being able to see them, that's just plain normal.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's
these guys
also-
are very similar in configuration to your Sasquatch, with the primary difference being they'll rip both your arms off and beat you to death with a wet end for breakfast.
Okay, so
They're not nice people.
encounter is not recommended, right?
This would be advisable, yeah.
Okay.
Sasquatch,
Are they-
absolutely encounter them. Wara, don't.
Okay. He wants to put up cameras and stuff, and he's going to try to get some pictures or some kind of evidence that something's going on. But here's what he has told me is happening, right? He calls it a glyph or something, and I'm like, hold on. It was branches, small branches arranged in a certain way. And
Yeah.
it wasn't in what?
That's how they would work with it, is with the local flora.
Okay. What do you
Did he
mean?
show you what this?
Well,
Raven, what?
as far as the glyphs go, they work with local flora. You can tell a Wara nest without any problem. Where it comes to the glyph, it depends on what you're looking at.
Okay, well, let me see if I can bring that picture up because he sent me a picture of it too.
Oh, good, good. That's what I was going
And
to ask.
apparently, it hides out in this tree. Okay. And now this is off to the side of his house, right? And they were not off the tree, it's under.
Can you get that larger? Can you?
I'm trying to get it now.
Okay.
I don't know that from the tree that it's on. Ah,
Use
I get you
solo
back.
layout. Nathan, use the
did
solo
y'all see the
layout.
picture?
No, it was like the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
Reconnecting. Hold on.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
It's coming up now.
Yeah,
Solo layout.
you've been enlarged.
It's not on my screen like that. Let me just.
Okay, so and we're looking at
You're
the
talking
twin.
that triangular shape.
Those branches are not from the tree. It's under. They come from way across the yard.
Well,
Yes.
that's because if they'd come from the tree, you wouldn't know it was that it was
They
sigil.
come from.
Okay.
Right. It comes from somewhere else.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
screen is flickering. It comes from across the yard. It does come from the local area, but not the tree that it's directly under. That
Yeah.
black stuff is some landscaping stuff, right?
Okay.
And
Got it.
Right.
what that the branches are from the tree in the front of the yard. Okay.
Where is that in location
That's all I got
in
for now.
relation to?
Well, you got.
Did you say there is something that looks like a nest there? In that same area?
No. Nothing. No, not a nest. Okay, hold up. Nest. I got something else to show you then. He doesn't see a nest, but he keeps getting he feels like he's being watched, okay? And he feels like let me go back to solo layout. Everything's so laggy. Tell me when the solo layout comes up and I'll put this up there.
It's up. It's up.
Okay. All right. That is the view across the street.
Mhm.
Between those houses is where he feels directed to look when he's out on his front porch. That's from his front porch.
Mm-hmm.
And he is looking. His gaze is directed, attracted right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now
That
it's
is
attracted
probably that
there.
is the same kind of tree that the branches are made out of.
Does he tell you what height he's looking at when he's drawn to look there?
He doesn't tell me the height. He can't define that. All right, exiting solo layout.
Yeah.
He can't define that. It's too it doesn't come to him. And all he just looks in that general area. Why is the height relevant?
Because the odds are it's mounted up about halfway up that tree on the left-hand side right near the house.
Okay. I need to get these pictures.
Whatever that sigil is near on the ground will tell you, because that's a warding sigil.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Keith.
Okay.
Do the O'Hara know runes?
Yeah, they just don't use human runes.
Oh, because I was just trying to decipher this according to the runes to see what runes, if it was a bind rune, and there's 4 very prominent runes.
But they do use their own runic language.
Okay, but they don't use ours. In other words, so
No.
what I've got here is not going to be of any use.
It may give a hint, because the fact of the matter is, every one of the civilizations I've come across has evolved along similar paths, hiccups and what have you. But they've gone through their clan wars, they've gone through the evolution of linguistic configurations. So many times, just like around the world here, you'll find different civilizations come up with the same idea, and yet they're separated by thousands of miles.
Okay. Okay.
I'm telling him that I'm on. We're talking about his evidence right now. And okay, so about these Oara, right?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of contact that you would recommend? Because apparently the guy has been living there for a long time. I mean, the
Well,
critter.
you leave them alone, they're totally harmless.
Mhm.
You know, if you're just watching them, they're essentially harmless. It's not until somebody tries to evict them or tries to threaten them that they become, shall we say, less cooperative.
What about befriending?
That could be entertaining.
Well, why you say that?
Well, it's kind of like trying to befriend a Bengal tiger that's been starving for 3 days.
Oh, well, that would be
Well,
something, right?
that's the
Would,
successful.
with Bigfoot, you can do something like a gifting site. Would that be something he
Bigfoot.
could do?
With Bigfoot, you absolutely can.
But not these
With
guys.
Wara, leave a firstborn.
Oh, so
I'm not
okay,
recommending
carnivorous.
that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want Jackie at all. They'd send Jackie back.
How well do Keith? How do they come up on cameras, or do they at all?
You're lucky if you get them, and they'll show up as a. You'll see it as a. If they show up as a. I want to call it a glitch. Okay,
Oh,
because
he gets
all
lots
you'll
of
get
glitches,
is
so do I.
a milky silhouette at best.
Okay, well then he's gotten him on video because so have I. I've seen
Yeah.
that stuff too. Up at his place.
Now they'll show up as kind of a milky video, a milky spot. The thing is, they have the capacity to vibrate, and they literally vibrate their fur fast enough to drop out of sync.
Okay. Well, is there anything we can do? See, now you're getting into my experimentation thinking, right? Is there anything we can do, like using sound or using a frequency of light, to make them visible? Anything, make them visible.
Technically, if you were to hit them with the right biomagnetic pulse, you'd make them visible. Unfortunately, that would set them off.
Biomagnetic. Well, I don't mean like picture
Biomagnetic.
perfect. Right, biomagnetic. I don't mean picture perfect. I mean
Oh,
a
no.
fuzzy outline.
I'm talking about if you bring them into visibility, they are very likely to take volatile offense to it. Now, picture if you know what a silverback gorilla is.
Yeah.
Picture a double-sized silverback gorilla that is having a real bad temperamental breakdown.
Ooh.
And see what he does to your house.
Oh wow.
That would be a bad thing. Yes.
That would be a bad thing indeed. So can you
I
see them
will-
with night vision?
Can you deal with which?
Can you see them maybe with night vision?
I'm trying to think how to describe it. My eyes don't focus properly, so I can see them fine.
Or ring a ding.
Yeah, and I'll be right back to answer that, because this one I am getting.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe he should just leave well enough alone out there in East Tennessee. Because
Yeah, sounds kind
I
of
think-
dangerous.
I think we've identified it, and I'll have to tell him. I'll have to tell him to, yeah, just stay alert, stay alive, it'd be okay. And
Leave out-
don't
Leave out some
Huh?
food for them, maybe. That might befriend him. Leave him out. Get him a 6-pack of tacos from Taco Bell. See what happens.
my buddy Mike from Bigfoot, Long Island Bigfoot. I want to go up to
I
him
thought you
one
wanted
day.
to make him your friend, leaving him
Sorry about that, guys.
Taco Bell.
Actually, I'm
good,
really
Keith?
not that sorry. That's 1 3
Don't
phone
all
calls.
dudes love Taco Bell? I mean,
No.
Taco Bell is crap.
No,
Taco
Definitely
Bell.
Taco Hell. Yeah, you go to Carl's Jr. or Rally's or one of your better burger
ever
fast
since
food
Taco
places,
Bell
burger
opened up
fries,
in mine, they created a problem, in my
Oh.
opinion.
and some
okay.
pancakes.
I stand corrected. Okay.
Oh, so I gave you
I want
station.
to take bucket of chicken up to Long Island Bigfoot.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Make me hungry.
Yeah.
Yes, Shadow, it is
Go on
my
to
shoulder
Bruto.
harness.
I got so much lag over here. Y'all are saying, "Look what's on the screen," and I can't even see it for like 3 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to tell him, get your evidence. Don't try to make him visible, this Owara. And I'm going
Yeah,
to
I
direct him
definitely
to
would
watch
not
this
try
part
and
of the
make him
show.
visible.
So when
Right.
are they active? Are they
Yeah.
active at night?
Usually
Mostly?
late at night. They seem to prefer operating under as cloud filled a night as they can.
Right. Okay. So what do they do during the day? Just sleep and hide?
Hide most of the time.
Are they as old as the Sasquatch?
If you're talking species, Sasquatch doesn't even light a candle to them.
So they're much older.
They're off-worlders.
Okay.
How did they get here?
That was done, as near as I can figure, somewhere near the which era was it? I'm forgetting the name offhand, but it starts with a D. Way prior to the Pleistocene era. We are talking Devonian.
Yeah, well, how did they get here? Did they stumble across this vibration or what?
No, more to the point, the first batch of them got here because they happened to be on another ship that they got off of. And somewhere down underneath the Sahara Desert, you'll actually find when I talk about under it, I'm talking some 2 miles under it. You'll find that you may find bits and pieces of the original ship. But
Under
the
the
Wara
Sahara.
are an off-world race. They're just volatile.
So they were transported here. They didn't come in their own vessel, right?
They didn't even come voluntarily.
I was going to
That was
say,
my
it
next
sounded like a
question.
prison ship.
They were transported here.
Yes.
So they were.
So they're not really
okay.
related to the Bigfoot, to the Sasquatch.
They are not related to them in even the functionally remotest of fashions.
Okay.
Closest you got to them being related is they're big, they're muscular, and they're furry.
Okay.
So they're just as relatable as Wookiees are. Gotcha. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm making it sound.
I realize you're not joking. But yeah.
All right, I will relay this to him, and I've sent him text messages that we're talking about his evidence. And
well, you have to wonder where the Wookiee came from. I mean, I always thought
George
it was
Lucas's pet dog.
Lucas was one of those funny people that actually knew what was going on. Half the races that you see that Lucas put together are real.
That's what
or more to the point, based on real.
That's what I'm getting at. You know, and I always thought it was a representation of Sasquatch. I don't remember a time where I've ever not believed that Sasquatch was real.
Same here. He's been real in Tennessee forever.
Mm-hmm. Shadow's frowning.
I need more proof, guys.
Yeah, I gave up on the idea of proof a long time, of quantifiable proof a long time ago.
Hey, do you know where I live? I suppose I could go take a trip out there and and see if I can't track one down.
Sorry if you hear me typing.
Well, see, the unfortunate
But
part is that trying to prove some of it is rather problematic, to say the least. Mind you, I do understand it.
mhm. I would
Well,
like
what's
to
the
say, disclaimer, I'm very picky now who I bring on the show. Okay? Like,
Wow.
Amy has not yet showed up. She would be on the show. So, but she hasn't showed up yet. The best I got is in spirit. It's the best I got. And I still want my sticker, Amy.
Hey, but
Still,
you're getting popular
I just
now.
want Amy to
sticker.
put
Don't make
put
me
her
pirate
show on
your
a little
sticker,
bit
Amy.
later. A little bit later. I'm just not. She's putting her show on about the time I'm getting to bed. So, and I need my sleep. I really do.
Yeah, because Lord
Yeah,
knows you
and
need beauty sleep there in the shadow.
Joe, let me adjust
I'm
your
telling you,
microphone
man.
setting because we all do. I know I do.
Don't spill
Joe,
your
your
drink,
mic
Raven.
setting is way low. I adjusted it just now.
All right. Well,
Nicely
it looks
timed,
like you're
Shadow.
finally getting unpopular.
Okay.
You got one of those.
But Joe, is your mic down by your mouth, or is it
Right
up
here.
on there again?
Right here.
You sound far
Okay.
away. It's
Your
hard to
gain
hear
is
you.
way low. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like your mic is way low.
Well, at least it's better than sounding like it's J-Lo.
Come on.
Yeah, I think there was something lost in translation there. Keith, I didn't understand what you said. He doesn't sound
I
like
said
J Lo.
at least it doesn't make him sound like J-Lo.
J Lo, the singer.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, right, good.
Okay, I've got a
But
question for Joe. All right, I know you're familiar with the Sumerian texts and so forth. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, is the Enkidu, is that a Bigfoot?
He's
Likely
described as a
would, yes.
man. He is
What'd you say?
described as a man.
A hairy man.
He is described as a man.
Okay. Then
See,
who's the
He's a mountain man.
okay?
Try
So he's
setting
not.
this up.
see, I don't myself. I don't actually know the story of Gilgamesh.
Well, Inky got tired of Gilgamesh's BS. So he sent down a newly made man, and he was called Enkidu. And his job was supposed to be to go beat up Gilgamesh. So after they fought and destroyed the town and drank all the wine, when they woke up the next morning, they were the best buds, which pissed Inky off again.
Talking about backfiring.
Okay. Well, who's the hairy wild man then? Maybe I've got the name wrong.
He's a wild man of the mountains. So yeah, he might be
Go with
hairy.
me.
They have like a drawing or a carving in stone of what he looks like. He's like taller, like a Bigfoot would be, and he's not dissimilar from what a Bigfoot's described as
Yeah.
looking like.
Well, I don't think they had the term Bigfoot,
Obviously, then yeah, I know.
and he was apparently intelligent, and apparently not afraid of coming into town. So,
And realistically, if you go back into the early days, what we call a Bigfoot wouldn't have a problem going into town because they weren't so volatile with them.
Yeah, they weren't trying to hunt them down, trophy hunt them, and prove they're real by shooting them. And
yeah, or shoot them first, then ask if they're friendly.
Right. Oklahoma.
So everyone knows. Yeah, Inky is ENKI. Inkadu is what's on the screen now. Correct? Am I right?
I can't see it. It's gone by. I am seeing your what do you call that? It's not a troll. Yeah, I'm seeing your troll out there.
Oh, well.
Huh?
Lag. Okay, I'm gonna just hide all comments right now.
Oh.
Sorry about that. It's ENKI is Inky. ENKIDU is Inkadu.
Yeah.
So
and Inky means Lord of Earth, and Enkidu is copy of the Lord of Earth.
Okay.
Is that a simplification of something else, or is that the standard straight up meaning?
That's the standard straight up meaning. Inky, Lord. No, ink. No, in is Lord. Ki is Earth. Inky, Lord Earth.
Lord Earth. Right. And do being copy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So
he's the dude. He's the second one.
Son. Right. The mistranslation would be the son of. Right.
He's not the son of. He's a copy.
Okay.
Right.
So that would come to like cloning. Would it be a clone? Would it be something like that?
That sounds like it. But go ahead.
I'd be more inclined to liken it to what's it called?
Replication.
Replicate. I was looking for the actual term. Mitosis. Not replication so much as duplication.
Yeah, but apparently he didn't get any of the godly powers. Mm-hmm. He just got the body.
Talk about a bad copy.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of this when I'm.
Yeah. What? Keith? What is there? Is there an India equivalent, like Shiva, or were they a different group of guys?
I was actually looking into that just now. No, they the Indian gods, as it were, is a different race. Okay. I've got the name for the actual Nords floating around here somewhere. I just came across the other day and they misplaced it. The Egyptians were brought on by the Enion.
Okay. And because the India guys, they seem to have a whole different deal going on. In your show the other day, I heard you say that the group, the Nords, the Romans, the Greeks, they were all the same guys posing in different times.
They were.
Okay. But India, they got a whole different group of guys.
Altogether.
Yeah. And they are the ones that I'm looking at because they're really, we can relate to them most because their stuff is still here. Unlike the other guys, their stuff has all been pillaged or gone or repurposed or something. The India stuff is all still here. Most of it. Some of it has been destroyed and defaced, but like in Egypt, the flying boat under the pyramid has been destroyed by age or something, right?
It's not he who washed.
Well, it was destroyed before he got there. But the Vimanas in India, they're still there. You
They are.
know?
Oh
Yeah,
wow! I
they're
didn't see
Why
still
that.
would let
there.
him torture himself?
Yeah. Um, the Vimanas and stuff, the temples, all that technology is still there. It's just been misinterpreted. I went over the Vimana stuff, but there is so much more. The medical tech, the uh, the
Bicycle.
environmental tech, the crystal tech. Now the
Well,
crystals
that's
and
just
go ahead,
it.
go ahead.
When you take a look at the Indian tech, okay, and the Eniod tech, it is so far, especially in the medical fields, it is so far beyond normal, like beyond what humans have, that they look at it, the humans look at it going, it doesn't make much sense.
Hmm.
But no, the odd part about it, if you compare the Norse gods, the Romans, and the Greek, all of the gods had the same basic abilities. This is how you know they were all the same. Well, they were the same person. But
Hmm.
what you got to remember is these guys lived a lot longer than humans do.
Right.
But that's why
I
they just
actually,
vanished overnight.
yeah, I actually came up with something a few years ago. Turns out it was an old word already. Was I thought now I was not into this yet. I was looking at it historically, and they came up with. So I thought I was mistaken, right? It was the same group of guys. Okay, it was the same group of guys, and they came up with a socioform in how to raise society. But it was the same group of guys. The socioform, the word is already an old word. I was giving it a new meaning, was to take a formula of how to create a society and apply it. But since it was the same guys, they were doing the same thing, not different guys following a different script. It was the same
Correct.
guys. Right. I was mistaken, and I'm happily mistaken about that. But India just seems to be a whole different ball game. And it's even in their culture, and they brought their culture with them here to the United States. Notice, y'all that are in the United States, right? These independent hotels, not the chains, not the big ones, right? But the independent hotels. Most of them that I've noticed are run by people from India. Okay.
Yeah.
And I asked about that, and now they weren't supposed to tell me this, right? This is like, family secret type stuff. They told me um that they make hotels because it's in their culture to give comfort to the visitors. And they were the ones who intercepted them, and they gave them comfort and allowed them, because of their culture, allowed them to come in, and they catered to them. And now it's become part of their culture. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a
Absolutely,
ton
it
of sense.
does.
Yeah, it does.
And I linked it to the ufology aspect of things, to where did these people come from? And it's really interesting to look at when you look at it from a historical aspect of, and forget what science says that this stuff doesn't exist, because it's right in front of me, right? I can look at.
Well, this is where I run into it. You know,
Go ahead.
but there's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't add up. I mean, it adds up fine if you figure out the right mathematics, but no, the Indian people are a very different than the Indian influencers, if you will.
I don't know.
Don't know what the
Go
I
ahead,
don't know.
Keith. Go ahead, Keith. He's off screen. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, not a problem. The influencers of the Indian culture, they didn't have anything to do with the building of the people, but the culture they certainly influenced. Much like the Aniod influenced the Egyptian culture. You know, but if you think about it, mankind was influenced by the people around wherever they grew up. They have learned. Humans learn from watching nature. This is why they turn around and emulate it. But humans, fortunately, have become a little less volatile than some of nature.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. That's all.
Okay, so on
Okay.
the Epic of Gilgamesh, I've been
And
looking through the pictures, and I cannot find exactly the one that I've seen before that I have in mind, but there is a character here who I believe is supposed to be Enkidu, and he's got horns coming out the side of his head.
Right.
Now,
Well,
is that Enkidu?
Horns?
Yeah.
Probably not. That's probably Inky.
Oh, really? Okay, here, I'll
The
take
horns
I'll,
is
I'll do it.
are part of the space helmet.
They've got it listed here as Enkidu.
Well,
Okay, there's a famous one that I see all over the place that is kind of the poster of the Epic of Gilgamesh, which shows him and he's got like a lion that he's holding up to his
his
side.
pet, yes.
Okay, so they've got that image, and then they've got this other image next to it, and they've got that as Enkidu, and it's wild hair and horns. Here, I'll do a copy paste here. I don't know if I can put it in the chat or not.
No.
Let's see.
here, I can do
probably
this
send
right
it
here.
to-
You'll see a bunch of them. Like if you look up Anana, you'll see a bunch of them identified as Anana, and they all can't be true because they differ from each other. The one thing that I look for is any indication that they still have their space helmet.
Okay. There's a famous one that she's got like kind of has like rolls. That the space helmet. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put this. I think I can post this in the chat here. That the space helmet. Yeah. Nope. Cannot. Okay, what do I do here? All right, Nathan, I'll just send it to you because then you can post it, right? Here.
Not on Facebook Messenger.
Not on Facebook Messenger.
I can't.
Okay,
No, I can't. Not Facebook Messenger. I can bring up a picture that I can get on a phone, but I can't have. I don't use Facebook Messenger on a phone.
I hate to do this to everybody, but I got 6% energy left here.
Okay.
Well, I do
Okay, Joe.
appreciate it. Personally, I appreciate you coming in, Joe.
Well, thank you.
Me too.
Thank you for indulging me there.
Thanks, Joe. Go recharge. Shields up. Recharge. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but I can't figure out what's going on here.
Trying
Why
to
it's not
disconnect and
getting
can't.
power. Unless my power supply went out on me. It's cold.
Well, Joe, sounds like you got tech problems. Fix them. There we go. Okay, I think he's out.
Well, he's frozen anyway.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Power supply is-
Joe, I'm going to
No,
go ahead
not
and
frozen,
escort
just
you out,
really
okay,
bad.
man? You're freezing up, so I'm going to go ahead and just, fix the problems. Talk to you soon. Yeah, you keep freezing. Okay. All right. He may come back later, but I don't know. It's getting about that time for him right now. He's going to get a little messenger dog come in and say, woof, got to go.
That's okay. I'm going to get a little messenger and dog here pretty quick going, let's hear about the tank. But then I
Okay.
get up usually at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which may explain part of the problem.
Yeah, what time is it there for you now?
10:30.
Okay. Because I'm 2 hours behind you, or 2 hours
He's
in
about the
front of
same
you.
time
So
as
12.
Yeah, you
Okay.
should be about 12:30.
me.
You're
I'm at
central
10. I'm at
afternoon.
10:19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm
me
at
and
10.
Raven are in the
Yeah,
same
you and I
time
are the
zone.
same.
Yeah. Mm.
I keep wanting to say you're down in Cali. Shallow.
You got
Yeah.
that right.
He's right.
See, all the shadow has to do is grab the I-5, come north, you hit the border, it'll change to Highway 97 and come straight into Kelowna.
I'll remember that when I'm on the lam. Hope you got a spare room
Yeah,
or a couch.
couch I've always got, although right now the couch is a little short.
Well, once I start building all these things made with mercury drives, Vimana drives, it's going to be a straight shot. And everybody's getting one. Everybody's going to get one. Like, dude was talking about
What
the
are you,
flying
Oprah
car.
now? What are you, Oprah now?
Oh, no. I'm broke Oprah.
Well, thank consolation, I can relate to the broke part.
Yeah. But, yeah, I just, like, David Wilcock and his flying car never happened. He was shut down, though. He was trying to change the world. I'm not trying to change
Yeah.
the world. I'm trying to change the YouTubers. That's it.
Come on, Justin.
And but anyway, this has been great, y'all. We're at an hour and a half. We've got some time left. Awesome. We've covered a lot of ground tonight so far, and I get to tell my buddy in East Tennessee, don't try to make friends. Just be aware that he's there, and it's okay.
Now leave them
right?
alone, you're fine.
Yeah.
The
So
neat part
I
about
wonder.
them. Go ahead.
Now I'm just wondering, are the people up there mistaking this thing for a Bigfoot? Because it sounds like
Many
they are.
people are. Anytime you hear about somebody saying they had a really aggressive Bigfoot that they had to deal with, that they did nothing to promote or to provoke, odds are you're dealing with a Wara.
Okay. And they were brought here a long time ago, but they're not from here.
Very long time ago. Give me 10 seconds.
Plasticine
Let's pull up a piece of information here. Ouch.
Right.
So I wonder if that's what's in Russia, because they talk about the most aggressive Sasquatch being there in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make sense.
Got the book.
And
Well, I wrote it down. I wrote the stuff down because, quite frankly, I found I had way too much.
Was he in the first edition too? Because I don't remember that one.
Was which in the first one?
The Wara.
The Wara is. See, when the Wara were brought here, they do now have ships. But when they were first brought here, they didn't.
Mm-hmm. So they're a tech society.
Very.
Okay.
But when they were first brought here, they were not. So what you're looking at is the caveman equivalent of the Wara.
All right.
Have you ever seen a ship that looks like a segmented, it almost looks like a bunch of squares connected together?
yes, I have.
That's a Warren, Warren transport.
Oh, really?
So they have a whole thing going on here, huh?
At this point, yes. But as you can well imagine, no, they are not trying to re-assimilate the Wara that were left behind.
Okay.
That'd be kind of like trying to bring in a Megatherium and get it to get along with anteaters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that wouldn't work too well. Okay.
For those that don't know what a Megatherium is, it was about
Giant
a 15-foot ground sloth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know.
There you go.
I didn't know that.
But no, it is very likely that what Russia is seeing, if they're saying they've got really aggressive Sasquatch, the odds are they're dealing with Wara.
Do you think that maybe that is who attacked those hikers that went missing that they later found with their technology?
In all probability, yes.
I
was going to say without getting graphic, without getting graphic, when they found the hikers, were the hikers in pieces?
Well, one guy all of his ribs were broken and his eyes were like shut. But the weird thing is, they were radioactive and had to be placed in specific caskets because they were radioactive. You know, those what do they call them?
Contaminated.
It's just something that contains radiation. The caskets had to be. I can't think of the word right now.
Normally, if you're dealing with radiation, you're usually dealing with a lead lining of sorts.
Yeah, and they could not have an open casket because they were all pretty badly,
Yeah. Now, that being said, there's a number of possibilities, but it certainly wasn't Sasquatch that did it.
Because they have pictures. There's pictures on one of the girls' cameras that they got developed, and you can see an outline of a Sasquatch-looking figure, kind of trying to hide behind the tree. There's several photos, and in her diary, she talks about how this thing or person, they weren't sure what it was following them at a distance.
And then it took them out, yeah. And then, yeah, that's what's called hunting. Just humans don't like the idea of being prey.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why.
We're not used to thinking of ourselves as not at the top of the food chain. It's a very disturbing thought, realizing that we're not, So,
yeah, it's like, oops.
Yeah.
But no, if you're dealing with the modern ones, having the victims radioactive would make total sense. Especially when you look at where they come from. But the thing you got to remember is you get in close proximity to them. If you're dealing with hunters, they will poison their prey first because it makes them easier to deal with.
Right.
You think about it. If your prey is suffering from third-degree radiation sickness, they're not that active.
Yeah. Well, why did they want to? I mean, they wouldn't want to eat them then because they're radioactive. Well,
radioactive to humans.
What the hell was that? Did you hear that?
Oh, that was an intro. That was an intro music.
Oh. Okay, what did you say, Keith?
Radioactive to humans.
Well, yeah, true.
I mean, you think about it. You take a look at a bug, like at a fly, right?
Right.
They dissolve their prey before they eat it. It's coated in acid and they eat it anyway.
Oh.
These guys are the same way. It's just adjusting it for their own use.
Okay. How can they be radioactive? I mean, and there's reports of people that work at the missile silos and the some research places kind of out like in Montana and the boonies. They were having the Sasquatch come up to one of their cameras that was mounted on a light outside the facility, and the footprints they found were radioactive that were still in the
That
snow.
wasn't Sasquatch.
So that was O'Hara?
I'd lay odds on it. You got to remember, the human body, the corporeal body runs on nuclear energy. Okay. It's just it doesn't run at a high enough level to be bad for humans to be an issue.
Okay.
All right. Question from the chat. It's coming up now. I think there's been a miscommunication here. Go ahead.
There has been. Yeah.
Okay, Keith.
Two broke guys. No. Sad. That was a comparison of what the Wara is up to, as to why the Wara can handle the higher radioactivity. But that dissolving thing is referring to the way flies eat.
Right. Flies inject the fluid and it dissolves it in front of them so they can bring it in.
Exactly.
Right. And yeah. Okay. So just wanted to make sure that got cleared up.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely a good call.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to my buddy's not replying to me about this, so I'm gonna have to send him some more links and some information. And he borrowed my book that I got from you, Keith. I got it back, but I can't find it anywhere. It's like someone didn't want me to have it. It must be
I get
around
what
here
that happened.
somewhere, but I don't know.
I have that problem often.
I have a lot.
I'm still waiting on volume 2.
So am I. I've got most of the pictures done. Unfortunately, this year has been a nightmare where it came to getting things sidetracked. Bunch.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything works out. I know it will. You're like manifestation master over there, so I know it'll work out. I'm working on it too. I'm working on stuff too. I mean, my little Mercury project. So, yeah, I just got the new parts in. The flat canisters aren't gonna work. The bowl shaped are gonna work. And you know what I ended up getting prefab, right? This is to be made out of junk, right? Prefab is they are 4-inch tops to chain link fences. Flip it upside down, you have a steel bowl. Yeah, flip it upside down, you have a steel bowl.
Okay, so that's what you're going to use?
It will work. That's what I'm going to use for the, probably for the demo and probably for the hoverboard, the smaller versions of it, because it does take it is big and it will vaporize inside and it will contain the heat and everything if any happens. So, once I figure out making that work, then I upscale and I get the sandstone bowls made. And that will be the shuttlecraft and the speeder bike and whatever else. I've got one person at work that I talk to about this, and he's familiar with this stuff because he is like, he says, he messes with me. He says, "You're such a nerd." I'm like, and then he comes at me with all this high-end techno babble that I'm like, "You're calling me a nerd?"
In other words, he wasn't insulting you.
Right. He meant it as an insult, but I'm like, who are you talking to?
He meant it as a compliment, but he intended it to sound like an insult.
Right. And the shape of this, like, these cans that I'm using, right? They're, what's going on is, okay, this is a can, right? And the way Mercury acts just without anything, right? It will actually stack itself vertically before it goes horizontally, before it spreads out. Like water, you drop it on a table, it spreads out. This Mercury, you drop it on a table, it spreads out, and it goes back together, and it goes vertical. It will actually stack itself up. Because,
see, that's the funny part about it. Water will stack itself up as well. The difference is the water's surface tension is a lot lower than Mercury's.
Right. Mercury's specific gravity and surface tension all have a thing to do with it. It will gather itself back up. And when you put it in this little bit that I've got in an area this size, it tends to grab itself up, but not to the center. It doesn't necessarily go to the center. So it would need a starter motor, and this would have to be a moving part. So I don't want that. So the idea was, now I got no way to bend this accurately enough to where it goes to be a shape like this, right? So I was
Right.
like, what else can I use? And I started looking around, and I was looking at steel parts, and stainless steel is good. This stuff that I got is okay because it's a semiconductor, and I kind of need a semiconductor, not a full on like something copper where it's a conductor, but semiconductor.
Okay.
And the corrugated steel is a good idea for that because it is not very good at conducting electricity. It's very good structurally, and it is steel. It can take a lot of heat. So if there's heat buildup, which there will be, it's metal on metal, then it will uh, shed that heat and absorb a lot of it. So I might end up putting a heat sink on it too, but I don't know. And well, so I got the part. Hold on, I got some messages coming in. Okay.
Well, not that I'm not enjoying this, actually, quite the contrary, but the fact that I'm looking at 8 people on the screen right now might indicate I've got a problem.
Oh boy. Okay, well, tech problems. What? It's the quantum show. We got all the tech
Oh,
problems.
this ain't, no, you misunderstand. This is not a tech problem.
Oh,
This is an optical problem.
perception problem. I got you. Okay, Keith, get some rest.
That was
Get
the idea.
energized up. I suggest herbal tea and uh, take it easy. So thanks for coming by, man.
But thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you tomorrow,
thanks
man.
to everybody who joined us. Absolutely there. You've got a show tomorrow,
Keep
do
it
you
at
not?
quantum.
I've got like 3, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I've got a game tomorrow morning, so that'll occupy part of it.
Enjoy. Nothing but crits, man.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks. See you, Keith.
Happy trails.
Take care. I just got to figure out how to hang up. There we go.
Push them buttons. Yep. Got to push the buttons.
And Joe's back. Welcome back, Joe.
Yes. He's
Push the buttons? Okay.
Hey Joe. Fix it.
Yeah, not ones though.
Just a moment.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Sound check is good.
Sound check is good. All right. They're just
Alrighty
about
then.
ready to get in there.
Yeah, I just went over the revised version of the Mercury drive that I'm working on. I'm using
Anytime, Keith. Anytime. You always got a spot here, man.
Thanks, Keith. Yep. Always got a spot. I was just going over the revised design that I'm doing. I was using this to contain the mercury on the drive, but now I'm using a steel fence post top that is rounded, turned upside down because of the way mercury acts on a flat surface. And I don't have enough mercury to fill the bottom of this, and that would be too much for this little can anyway. So this is going to go back to being herbal containers. And I don't have it here because I'm not working on it actively, but I've got it somewhere else. It's a 4-inch fence post top, corrugated steel. Semiconductor can take a lot of heat and can take a lot of physical pressure. That's perfect. And if the mercury vaporizes inside of it, it will contain it. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Is it rain? Do I hear rain coming from your area, Joe?
Unfortunately, I'm in the den. And that is the dryer you're listening to.
Oh, high-tech dryer. That is, I got you. Oh, boy. Hang on.
Okay.
I didn't know
I
that
was trying to
trolls
send
and
you a
elves were
message,
related.
Nathan. Did you get it?
What?
Did you get the message I sent you?
Private chat.
Yeah, ditto.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me see.
I can't. I'm trying to figure out how. It needs to be done right now.
Hold up. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself because I'm having to do lots of.
There we are. You did mute yourself, all right. Okay. So, Shadow, what are you painting lately? Oh, he's muted too.
I need to buy new paints. I mean, I have a crap ton, but I'm switching over to a new brand, and I just want to use that for like my base coats because they're basically a speed paint from Army Painter, and they
Oh,
basically
I figured Army Painter.
and they do the equivalent of a like an ink job with a wash at the same time. So you kill, two birds with one stone. You get one coat, and you get two effects, and then I can use my regular Army painters for dry brushing because they're kind of thick to begin with. And they just came out with a complete line setup, but it's pretty spendy. So I've been holding off
Yeah, I
because I'm
saw the price on that. I was going,
yeah.
wow.
I can pick it up for two like 250, but I'm also enrolled in a contest where I stand a chance of winning a complete set. So I'm kind of holding off till the last minute, and if that works, then I'm golden. If not, I'll bite the bullet and grab them. But I just haven't done it, and
Gone is the day of after the house.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because I've literally got like 500 bottles of paint right now, but they're all not that. And I do have a bunch of the speed paints. That's how I know how good they are.
Raven's
But
being edited.
that or she just grew a really weird mustache. And it's been so hot here that I couldn't really paint anyways, even with a wet palette. And wet palettes don't work out well with speed paint because they oversaturate the paint with water from the speed paint process. So between the heat and just wanting to wait a little while, I'll probably get them, before Christmas. But I'm also assembling like hundreds of models and primering them with rattle cans. So I figure I'll get everything built, and then I'll just do the whole new thing with speed paints, and you know everything will be just peachy.
Now, Frank's son, John, I'm building him a castle.
I've
skeletons.
I've been saving up styrofoam for years to do that. I just I got nowhere to put it once I build it, so I haven't done that yet.
Well, mine's very small, but it'll get the job done because.
Is it like modular?
John, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, so a lot of magnets. So that
Good idea. Works way better than toothpicks. That's what I thought, Justin, but I'm not taking a chance. I'm just gonna wait until I get all my ducks in a row, and then I'll just pull the trigger, grab the whole set. It it it'll take like 2 days to get here, and I'll get around to it. No, but I'm kind of crossing my fingers to be one of those lucky winners on Army Painter because I know if I do pull the trigger and buy them, then I'll end up winning something from the contest, and then it'll be like, see, I should have waited. So if I just wait, then I won't win anything. I'll just pay for it with my own hard-earned money and be good to go. And no, Raven, I didn't send you any speed paints. Baby steps. I'll teach you the basics, and she bails. Nathan's not here, so it's just be you and me, Joe. So how the hell are you, man?
I'm as mean as ever. My voice gives out every once in a while, but it's a lot better than what it was.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'd get a sentence or two out, and the next thing I know, I'd be squeaky like a mouse.
Oh, I sure could, Justin. But the shipping to Canada would kill me. Oh, I figured as much, Nathan. I just don't know where Raven went. I'm just super excited. You know, I'm actually able to use my freaking very expensive laptop finally. So,
What happened with that?
It was for some reason the camera just wasn't working, and it was, lagging or freezing. And then I did some fiddling around on Discord to be able to do gameplay on Discord. Got the camera to work, and I was just being lazy and putting it off to do a test stream on YouTube. And today, both my other devices, the batteries were real low after my other show, and I'm like, crap, I'm just going to try it on my laptop, and logged into StreamYard, and everything went just fine. So I'm going to start using my laptop to do stuff, and be able to do more special effects, and little extra things that I couldn't do on the tablet. Justin says, from my perspective, Shadow, that's all the more reason for you to send it to me. Oh, okay.
Black Dragon. That's terrible. But maybe you can teach somebody else.
You know what?
Your hands are shaky.
Black Dragon, if you check out a channel called the James Gang, he's got some pretty bad shaky issues, and I swear he pumps out more really nice minis than anybody I've ever met. I think he's on like Metformin or something like that, and his hands are just really, really shaky. And he's younger than me, and he puts me to shame, man. He's pumping out miniature after miniature, all kinds of different game stuff, and he's a great guy, a friend of mine. And I'm not half the painter he is, and even with his issue, he's just pumping them out like crazy. You hit a wrong button there, Raven. Just tell Black Dragon. Just tell him Shadow and Sun sent you, and he'll treat you right. Holy crap! Burnt the shit out of myself.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble with the new electronics. A resistor looks like a speck of dust to me. I have to hook up a microscope to my computer and watch myself solder.
I actually picked up a microscope to paint like 6 and 10 mil miniatures, and I haven't even touched it. I got it like a year ago, and it's going to be freaking awesome to use on 6, 10, 15 mil miniatures. Electron microscope exists for a reson. Yeah, I'm not going that hardcore on the painting. It's a hobby, not a profession, but I'll put that on the back burner. When I clear out the space, for my 3D printers and everything else, I'll see if I got some room to.
Yeah, I think if I fired electrons through those electrical circuits, they wouldn't last very long. But thanks, Justin. We're going to get back to Raven's question soon, I hope. I'm up to 19% power now. Yay.
That's the other bonus with the laptop is this thing. It's actually a really nice laptop. It cost me like $1,200, and it charges like super fast. $150. Right, I'll tack that on right after I get some new paints. Welcome back to your show, Nathan. Anytime, brother. Anytime. You are muted though, but that's probably par for the course. You're probably cursing anyways, right? No.
No, not Nathan.
No. No. After you get a cup of coffee, so basically in a half hour. So she's going to
Alright.
drive down to the Circle K and have to fight that monster of a hill.
And stay out of the steering wheel.
Oh shit! Right? I still can't figure that one out, man. I still can't figure that out. That's definitely a mystery for the ages. Because I know if I got my square head in between a steering wheel like that, I'd still be there. I mean, I'd be a skeleton, but I'd still be there.
You mean your son wouldn't feed you?
He might just until he was 18, but he'd still, park the vehicle out back somewhere, just to make sure he, gets his inheritance. No, actually, he was really good today on my show. He's been super busy, and the topic just really, lit a fire under his butt. So much so that he wanted to do a part 2, which is very rare for him. And he, got to hang out with the big boys and talk one of his favorite subjects, which was amazing. He knew stuff about H.P. Lovecraft I didn't even know, and I'm like, I've been reading that guy's stuff and reading about him for 40 plus years, and he pulls off some factoids that I had no knowledge of. Like H.P. Lovecraft's parents were both institutionalized for mental illness, and that was part of H.P. Lovecraft's thing, is always worried about that happening to him. You should have had me on to take Nathan's place. We could have had a real hootenanny.
There's plenty of space on the screen here.
Yeah, there's only the 3 of us. I can throw the link in there. What do you think? Is that
Anything better than that one clown, okay?
I honestly
Sure,
really
throw the
can't.
link in there. Go ahead.
I'm doing.
Justin, do you want me to? Well, I need
Yeah,
a
'cause
direct
wait.
way to get to you.
Got it. I just didn't see the paste.
Don't put it in the chat.
It's in there. Get your hiney in here, Justin. Not like I haven't spent like half the day hanging out with you, but no, Justin's a good guy. And I believe that
Good for what?
Welcome to the show, brother.
Hi, Justin.
I'm all paranormal now.
Yeah. Your pair of something, man.
Quantum.
Don't be jealous, Derek.
What we're looking on.
Yeah, I sorry about the weirdness earlier, folks.
Things went down all of a sudden.
Yeah. Hello, Black Dragon. How are you doing? So what's going on? Nathan's
Just chilling on a Saturday night. Nathan's dealing with some technical difficulties. Raven went to go get some coffee.
I just got finished with the technical difficulty.
Yeah, it's like a virus. It just spread over to Nathan.
I've been learning stable diffusion to make t-shirt art.
Cool. Yeah, I've got a killer picture of me and Jackie when he was just a tiny little squeaker in his he's wearing his all white communion duds. Me, of course, in black with short hair, so nobody would actually recognize me because it was so long ago. It was way before the channel
That
started.
was before Cthulhu hit you with that laser beam?
Pretty much, yeah. And blinded me at a Blue Oyster Cult concert.
No, you mean turned you into a woman?
I'm telling you, man, that kid comes up with the freaking funniest shit sometimes.
Oh, you'd have had to been on Shadow Show earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, what's besides Nathan trying to blow up the world with his gravity bomb?
No,
What's
no,
going
no.
on?
He's trying to make a small sports car that flies, okay?
Yes.
It's the one we were promised,
From the
back in the
Jetsons.
time of the Jetsons, right?
Hey, the Jetson, the company Jetson, they make some pretty cool, gigantoid. I guess you'd call them. The words escape me. Drones that you can ride, and they're pretty slick, man.
Did they fit into a suitcase?
Yes.
No, not yet.
The
Not
one
yet.
I know of does.
I've seen some
They got
cool bicopter bicycles. There's
Really?
that one YouTuber. His name is escaping me.
It's a raven.
Hey, Raven. How are you doing?
Hi. Welcome, Justin. How you doing?
Good. You?
Good.
Quit eating all my sparrows.
That's the raccoon
Wasn't
doing
me.
that.
It wasn't me.
Oh, I saw a raven.
Uh,
Actually, it was a grackle, but close enough.
I thought all we had were crows here. I thought that was like a European bird, to be honest.
No, we got grackles here. But we've also got Mediterranean lizards here, too. We got geckos.
We've got all kinds of weird crap here. I've got an owl or two. We've got squirrels, rabbits, lizards, snakes, coyotes, and Chewy.
All you need is raccoons. I can send you some.
And they killed off our three alligators.
If you do send me any raccoons, send a media rate so that it will take like 4 to 6 weeks for them to get here.
Don't worry, there'll be enough in the box for them to breed on the way over.
Hey, then I'll just go into the raccoon hat business, and I'll send you all a nice raccoon hat.
With
You
the
live
lice
in
and the ticks,
California. You live in California. That's a federal crime over there. Just in that state. They made it a special federal crime.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm surprised Jackie hasn't asked for a raccoon hat.
He probably already has 4 of them.
I can probably make that happen. Yeah.
He's got a lot of freaking hats. The latest one he's looking at is like a couple of different like tri-corner pirate hats.
Tell them, remember, they actually go sideways to the way they go in the movies, not point on forward.
Right.
It's the flat side to your right, I think, and the points to your left, so you can hold your rifle.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hollywood always gets things wrong.
What were you saying, Joe?
Oh, well, do we have to go back to figuring out which one is Inky Doo?
Oh.
No, please don't. Please.
Because, frankly, I don't think the archaeologists know. They just say, hey, this looks like what I think Inky Doo should look like, so that's Inky Doo. And the next one comes along and says, no, that's Inky. And the next one comes along and
Is
somebody
there
else.
anything as far as any of them being described as having horns? Because in a couple of these,
Yeah, as I said, the horns tend to be limited to the gods themselves.
Okay, so then they're depicting Inky. I mean, it's like the full-blown, like a Viking.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck up.
Yeah, it's a way to connect to their space outfits.
Okay.
Space? Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen this before.
I don't remember that from Art Bell at all.
You don't remember that from Art Bell at all? Okay.
Yeah, like this.
You know,
That's what the
that
carving is
actually, the horns in Viking helmets is from that
Didn't
comic book
exist.
strip. What was that comic book strip called?
Hagar the Horrible.
Think so.
Yeah.
Hagar. Hagar the Horrible.
Hagar. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of mine had horns.
Yeah, that's where that originates from. Just because the artist thought his outfit looked a little off balance. That's why he had horns. The only reason.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
If any of mine used horns, it was reindeer horns, not whatever those sheep horns.
I have no idea. Probably.
I don't know.
And it was only for ceremony. It wasn't.
Yeah. Be on a fur headdress or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still cool looking though. Still cool looking. So
Read Black Dragon. They got their heads up in a box, to say the least.
What happened?
Yeah.
I was actually talking with a friend of mine last night, Omen, and because he has a lot of experience with archaeology and archaeologists and stuff, and I just don't get why they are so stuck on a particular narrative of ancient history that
I do, because they don't want to lose their tenure.
yeah, it's like I was saying.
but why is that even a thing? Why can't we go all the way up to the top and just go, whoever's in charge, and just go?
Well, then they're
Politics.
talking about the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds.
Yeah,
Those are the top
I think
people,
that's
Yeah,
misdirection.
they funded
I
the
think.
schools. They're the ones who put forth the money to build the schools, and they're still very much a part of the whole collegiate itinerary.
Right, but wouldn't it just be, more beneficial for everybody if we just went and actually looked at the evidence as opposed to stuck with a particular dogma and narrative?
Sure, but that would lead to more self-actualization and humans realizing they've got more power than they currently do, and they would also expose some of the ways that we have been enslaved.
Yeah, but think all the money they could make on all the new, enthusiasm toward archaeology and history and studying and all the freaking doodads they could create and all the, tchotchkes and just, goofy merchandise they could make off of, just popularizing ancient or pre-ancient history.
A lot of the Rothschild stuff is just there to keep you talking about that instead of like actual events. Like there was human remains found in Romania that are older than the ones from Africa, but we're still taught about the African ones, even though
we know better.
Like the evidence it's been disproven.
Right.
Right, but instead of talking about that. And the ones from Romania haven't been disproven. Like they're still factually older.
And
so you're saying vampires? That's what I'm hearing.
There's all kinds of out-of-place artifacts that are.
But no, it's even though it's been more than like 70 years since those remains were found in Romania, we're still taught in school. The universities still teach the out of Africa. You go into the museum, they still talk about the out of Africa, even though it's almost 100 years, like 80 years, 70, 80 years since the Romanian remains have been found. And I've never seen anything disproving them, and I look periodically, right? But did anyone else here know about that?
I read something about it.
Honestly, no, I hadn't heard.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But I mean, I've heard enough stuff about just other ancient civilizations, Göbekli Tepe and the other Tepe that I always forget, and it just stands to reason that we're finding stuff that predates everything we've been taught.
Yeah, definitely.
Why not? Why try to hide it? Eventually it's going to be everybody's going to see the different documentaries and the different videos and read the books and go, why are there two schools of thought? And
Well, it's like that when they released that oldest British person remake, right? And they put the picture
Right.
out there, and then they released the proper version of it, but it was behind a paywall, so nobody saw it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
and like Nathan said, the pyramid in Bosnia, that video and that guy's story is absolutely fascinating.
I don't know the one being referred to.
Yeah,
It's out there. I
it,
wish I
it,
had a
it,
link.
it's pretty massive, and
Can you give the bullet points for the audience?
a lot of it's kind of some stuff I'm not 100% on, but the pyramid is just it's massive. I believe it's bigger
It
than
is
all
massive.
the pyramids.
I can
And-
take up this bullet points if you want me
Yeah,
to.
people thought it was a
It's
mountain.
your show.
Yeah, well,
Go for it. I'll add mine if you miss them.
it's the quantum show, so okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, people thought it was a mountain. It is totally overgrown with trees. It's been there for thousands of years. There is a whole geological couple of layers on top of it showing that it's been there for so long, right? And the situation in Bosnia has not let archaeology progress there, because what I read was the locals keep trying to stick the people financially. Like, you want to be here, you pay high rent, basically, and you get permits and you get things that is the millions of dollars that they don't have the money to go and do to provide, right? They don't have the money for that, and that's what's keeping the Bosnian pyramid from being explored, because local corruption of people in bad situations. It's it's been a war zone for years.
There's your YouTube link
And
in the private chat.
Looking.
The archaeologist that was working on that Bosnian pyramid, they tried to discredit him, like Monovich or something like that.
The thing I didn't like was there's like a waterway or a river or something underground, and they're pulling the water out, saying it's got like these healing properties. And
They say that about all kinds of places, though.
I know. And as soon as I hear stuff like that, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a little bit.
Well, there's something to pyramids, water, and healing, though.
Well, I need to know about the disproving or the discrediting the individual, because if they're discrediting the person by doing the research, well, that's proof, right? But if they're going like he was in the park wearing pink bicycle shorts, kind of discrediting. I've seen that happen, like that literal thing be a thing to discredit science. So
yeah, there was that famous ufologist who had all this great info, and then suddenly stuff shows up on his computer, and they drag him away, and story snuffed out.
Yeah.
I will put a link to the video about the Bosnian period, Romania, after the show.
Oh, cool.
We got some great people with info in the chat tonight. That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Well, now we do. And they can get a word in edgewise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is.
Okay,
now,
I can't pronounce that word. Sorry, I would just butcher that word, Derek.
People in. Yeah, what is
Okay,
that?
Derek says
What is that?
he lived in Bosnia, and the natives there had a lot of cool stories on them. Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah.
There's a perfect modern human female skeleton. It's hard for me to read because my other screen is so it wobbles like this. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to read. But
I'll read it. Emerald River that flows through Mostar is beautiful, and in
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't know
word I
that
was
word.
having trouble with. I was having trouble with that word.
Medjugorje. A lot of miracles happen. Crucifix cross is there is their cross on the mountain. I don't think Derek is. Yeah, Derek is not native English speaker, but that's cool. Thank you for coming. And I
Yeah.
His English looks fine. It's just that word is weird. No offense, but wow, that's a
yeah, it's
mouthful.
working on it here.
Medjugorje, Medjugorje.
Uh,
I don't know which
Where the
letters to
Virgin
pronounce
Mary's
and
been
which letters
seen.
to not pronounce. The G or
Medjugorje
the
sounds
J
good.
are any of them silent?
It's Medjugorje. I only know that because I've just heard it so much from the Holy Virgin Mary appearing, and they have
Okay.
statues of Mary of Medjugorje, blah blah blah. Otherwise, I
Okay.
wouldn't know how to pronounce it.
Excellent.
And Derek confirms what you just said for the most part.
Okay.
Derek, are you sure it's not an Anna?
uh,
Context.
yes.
True.
I was just thinking
Context.
that.
No, I
Wow.
mean it could be, but it could be just a different context. We all see things the different ways, you know. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? It is 1:11. We've been going for 2.5 hours, and this has been great. But I think we should go ahead and wrap it up. Take it backstage. Don't hang up. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
Do I
Party
ever
on.
go
y'all,
anywhere? I'm always in front of a screen these days.
right? Don't hang up.
You're such a rock star.
I gotta close. What? Okay, I gotta close some windows. Hold on. But tonight has been quite interesting, quite enlightening, and thanks everybody for coming. People who have come and gone, thank you, everybody. If you're here, you're quantum, and
Quantum.
hit like and
If you're
subscribe.
not here, you're quantum. But no.
If you're not here, you're still quantum by proxy. Proxy quantum is still quantum. Okay.
Quantum by a fifth degree.
Yes.
Uh,
Remotely quantum.
Quantum by association.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. Don't hang up.
Happy trails, folks.
All right. Yep. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend. It is Sunday morning, and credit to Hellfire Studios for today's art. He did a great job. I only modified it a little bit to go to the quantum panel,
Thanks, Bug
and
Dragon. Means a lot.
Hellfire it looks awesome. I love it. I'm gonna keep it up there for a while. Everybody, keep it quantum. Have a great weekend, and we are out. Pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.